So in the overview, it talks about projects and how they're influenced by their environment. So we did talk about tailoring very briefly yesterday. The projects themselves need to be tailored, and they're typically influenced by their environment. The influences can have a good or a bad impact on the project. Organizational systems have a significant impact on the life cycle of the project. So organizational systems, we'll get into those a little bit here a little bit later, but they can have a very significant impact on the life cycle of the project. The two major categories of the influences or the external or sometimes internal influences on projects are enterprise environmental factors. You'll hear them called EEFs or EEFs or EEFs. Typically, those are external to the project and or the enterprise or company, and they have impacts on organizational, program, portfolio, and project levels. Organizational process assets are internal to the organization, and they typically arise from the organization, portfolio, program, or project itself. And we'll go into these a lot more here. So EEFs, enterprise environmental factors, they can cause constraints to the project if they're not considered. So as you're going through and you're initiating and you're planning of your project, you want to make sure that you're really taking these into account and considering what EEFs and OPAs are going to be, having some type of influence on your project itself. And we'll get into some examples of what those are here in a couple of slides. So organizational process assets, think of these as your PM toolbox. So these are the tools that are available to help you successfully manage your projects. And again, we'll get into some examples here in a second. And then enterprise environmental factors are outside of your control. Typically, they're going to be, environmental if you think of it like outside of your control versus organizational assets, things that you can use in your toolbox that will help you successfully manage it.